Good morning and welcome to Sports Today, 11 a.m. And if you're following us on Twitter, which you should if you're still not, we announced that we've got some breaking news at 11 a.m. So let's get the man in. We've got Boria Majumdar and Rajarshi Gupta. Let's dive straight into what we have to tell everyone before we get a couple of our friends from Australia to tell us what's going on there after the debacle of 36 for 9. But before that, Boria, good morning. Good morning, Rajarshi. And Boria, I heard that you've got some news for us, so please.
Yes, I do. From what I understand, there will be four changes in Melbourne, and the team's think tank have fairly zeroed in on the four, and the four are Prithvi Shaw will give way to Shubman Gill, number one. Number two, Riddhiman Saha will give way to Rishabh Pant. Question is it the end of the road for Riddhiman Saha? It could well be. Deep Das Gupta maybe at some point in time will join us for his perspective also. But let me tell you, at this point in time, from what I hear, it will be very, very difficult for Riddhiman Saha to make another comeback. So number one, Prithvi Shaw giving way to Shubman Gill. Number two, Riddhiman Saha giving way to Rishabh Pant, and that can be a change for good. Number three, like we said yesterday, we can confirm the front runner for the Mohammad Shami spot at this point in time is Mohammad Siraj. I will be very surprised if Mohammad Siraj does not make his debut at the Boxing Day test in Melbourne. He is a definite front runner ahead of T. Natarajan and, of course, Navdeep Saini. He's bowling very well in the nets, I'm told, and very, very committed. You know, his father passed away. We know that. Our thoughts were with him. Mohammad Siraj, this is a strange opportunity that is coming his way, and who knows if we are getting another top quality bowler for India. So Mohammad Siraj is your number three, and that force change for Virat Kohli. I'm From what I understand, Ajinkya Rahane might bat four, and KL Rahul might bat will come into the team. But there is also a thought which I think we will be able to talk about in the next few days. Will Team India bat Hanuma Vihari slightly up the order? Can Hanuma Vihari bat four or five? Will Ajinkya bat four, Hanuma five, Rahul six? This is still very fluid from what I know, but there will be, in the next few days, we will get to know this. So, most importantly, four changes: Shubman, Rishabh, Mohammad Siraj, and very, very important, very, very important. The number four position will probably go to KL Rahul, and there the batting order also will have to be tweaked, is what my understanding is. So, serious wholesale changes. Has Riddhiman played his last test or not, Riddhiman Rajarshi? We've got to wait and see. Chances are he might well have.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much for all these updates, Boreda. But hi, good morning, Rajeshi. What do you make of that? Let's dissect that one by one. Riddhiman Saha, what do you make of that?
Listen, with Riddhiman Saha, like Boria, Deep and Pragyan have elaborated on yesterday, I would like to add to that. And yes, they are right. You could say a couple of things about Riddhiman Saha. To begin with, is he currently between, when you talk of the two wicket keepers in the test team, is he the better wicket keeper of the two? Yes. But has he been able to make it count with the bat? No. At one point of time, you could feel for Saha and say that, he doesn't play the other international formats. India anyway playing test cricket after nearly 10, 11 months. But look, at this level, when you have those chances, you have to grab them. And like we discussed on Sports Today yesterday, he had two chances. Yes, India were in serious trouble in the second innings, but it was nicely set up at one point in time. There was this unfortunate run out that Virat Kohli had, and a lot of people were expecting a solid stand from Vihari, Riddhiman Sahab. That did not happen. And he hasn't been, even with his wicket keeping skills, to be honest, he hasn't quite been that Riddhiman Saha we know. That solid impenetrable glove work has been missing. So yes, and if it comes to that, Riddhiman Saha, what, 35, 36, and now whether the selectors look at Rishabh Pant and for what stint. Boria made a very good point yesterday, either of Boria and Deep, that they said, if you're looking at Rishabh Pant now, then you give him those 7 test matches. That's what I thought. It was a good point from Boria that, now if you're looking at a younger wicketkeeper, so don't just bring him in and, he touch wood, God forbid he doesn't do well in a couple of test matches, don't just let him go. And as far as the point Boria made, that he is also getting to hear that Prithvi Shaw will pave way for Shubman Gill. Yes, again, is it a little harsh? Probably, but again, at this level, this guy is quite not mentally there. He didn't seem to be mentally there at the Adelaide Oval. And yes, the other two changes are forced changes. Virat Kohli was anyway going out. KL Rahul will probably bat somewhere down the middle order, and most likely Mohammad Siraj. Shami's injury is a massive blow, right?
Yeah.
It could be, hopefully not. There's a series defining blow probably with Virat Kohli also gone.
Yeah, and our comment section is buzzing with, the disappointment with the fact that we have that injury in the squad along with the performance. But before I come to you, Boreza, regarding what you make of those decisions, well, you shared with us the decisions taken. I want to ask you, we've talking about youngsters being given a chance. In that case, when in the third test, if and when Rohit comes back, what happens to Gill?
Gill plays. The Gill plays. From what I know, Gill plays if he does well. We have to see who does well, Hanuma Vihari or what's going on there, because Rohit will come back. Rohit will come back from what I know, and you know, just imagine this. I mean, someone who's undergoing this 14-day hard quarantine alone in Sydney at this point in time. 30 cases today, by the way. 30 cases today in that northern cluster. Massive lockdown on. Victoria and South Australia have closed borders with Sydney, and Rajul can tell us more. There he is. So Rajul can tell us more about it. So if in this atmosphere, Rohit Sharma is in that 2-bedroom apartment in Sydney all by himself, exercising, watching television shows and getting ready mentally, imagine what he's going through in the mind. Why is he doing it? Because he's dead committed to playing for India in that third test match. So make no mistake. I mean, and Rohit Sharma has it here. You know, a lot of our people are questioning mentally is the team there. If there's one guy who will mentally always be there, is Rohit Sharma. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
No doubt
So
about it, yeah.
you've got to go to Rohit. You've got to go to Rohit. Will Rohit score in the first test? Anybody without a tour game in Australia, 7-8 days of practice, very difficult. But you still don't put it past Rohit Sharma because he's Rohit Sharma. The other thing I want to tell you here, and with Prithvi Shaw, Rajesh mentioned the point. You can go to Rajul after this. The dropped catch is going big time against Prithvi Shaw. That drop of Manas Labuschagne, trust me, that's not gone down well at all. Batting, yes, obviously the two failures, but that dropped catch is definitely going against Prithvi Shaw.
Yeah. Hey, Raju.
Hello.
What have
Hello,
you
Ridhima.
been? So you have to tell me,
Uh,
since you and your entire team represent every one of us who is rooting for cricket, how are you guys?
Not feeling great, and not feeling great because the way team performed, absolutely we are disappointed. But the big point here is that really making all of us very unhappy is the way fans are putting negative comments on social media. We want everybody, all Indian fans, to come behind the team at this tough time. They are down, they are mentally impacted. We basically want all Indian fans to flood social media with their positive support messages for Team India. And we would like to launch a campaign. We are launching a hashtag, always with Team India. We want every listener who is listening to us at the moment, if you are a true supporter of Team India and Indian cricket, go out there, flood the social media, put your videos, put your positive comments, and get behind the team. They are in the middle of a very tough series at the moment. I actually compare it to our armed forces when they are fighting at the front. If they get a blow, it's not the time to criticize your forces. It's the time to go behind them, support them. And that's what we want from all Indian fans. So to answer your question, Ridhima, we are not happy with the way few fans are throwing negative comments out there and trying to put the morale down. We want all Indian fans to get behind us. If you're in Australia, you're going to MCG. If you don't have tickets, contact us. We'll try to help you. We want every positive Indian fan to go out there and support Team India and cheer for them.
This is beautiful.
Very
Rajshri?
good. Very good.
Yes, it is. It is indeed. This is what happens in Australia. Ridhima, Boria, Rajul, you followed cricket in Australia. This is what happens, right? Look, we won in 2018, and there was this one defeat, right? And there is a lot of pressure that way. And look, having covered the sport for so many years, I also know how the Australian media are going to react. Probably, that's will start going to, that is also going to build into crescendo. But good on Rajul and his team to do this because, look, we've talked about it. At the end of the day, yes, it is going to be an unwanted record. It is a dubious record. No team would want to be part of that sort of record. And ironically, 4 years after India had posted the highest test total, we collapsed to 36 all out. I saw a couple of comments on social media from some Australian cricketers, like, I've never seen 26-19. Some of them recently were also part of that 41-42 all out in Johannesburg too one day. So it happens. Australia were also 60 all out, 60 odd all out in England. And there is no reason why India can't bounce back. It is easier said than done. And like Boria, the updates he gave us that, obviously Siraj is a front runner for Shami and how challenging, but it is going to be extremely challenging for Ajinkya Rahane. But that man has also shown the spunk and the grit to do it. And good on Rajul and all the Indian supporters there representing us to, really rally behind that team. It is important, especially in conditions like Australia. In England, yeah, it's theoretically maybe a little friendlier. South Africa, it's a little more neutral perhaps. Or Australia, oh boy, when they get behind the team. So it's a different ball game altogether. And it's good to have that kind
And
of support
Rajshri,
in Australia.
Rajshri, this reminds back the memories. Even in the last series, after we lost in Perth, similar sort of negative press, negative comments were flowing around the social media, and our team bounced back really well at MCG. So we're hoping they will come back strong. But all we need is show them our support because right now, if you open social media, there are more negative comments than positive comments. So we need
Yeah,
support
I
from all of
understand
you
that.
to help us with this campaign.
Yeah, I understand that, Rajul. But on a lighter note, let's hear how has Australian media reacted to this. On a lighter note, let's have fun with this.
I mean, Australian media, as you know, they always want to make a big case out of something really small, and this was huge, right? They're not going to let it go easily. In fact, at the ground, when we were at the stadium, we had Australian fans reminding us about how low the total is, and they were giving it back to us. So they're not going to take it easily, and this is something we need to overcome with our good performance at MCG.
Okay. Burza, do you
It's
have
fine. I
anything
mean,
to add?
that's what I've got no problems with the Australian fans going for Rajul and his team because if they don't, then that's surprising for me. Just like the players will go for the players, the fans will go for the fans, and just like
Exactly.
Ajinkya Rahane needs to chirp back, Rajul and his team need to chirp back and chirp back with positivity. I welcome this campaign wholeheartedly. I think it's a fabulous campaign. I think it's an aberration. 2 days of the test match we dominated. That 36, yes, was shocking, was disastrous, was abominable, was poor, was horrible. You say what you want. But it was one session. That doesn't make you a bad player or a bad team. You've got to move past that. Can you go back and do anything to it? No, it's gone, done, finished. You've got to flush it. You've got to flush it and move on. Simple as that. I mean, you keep thinking 36 all out, it'll be 4-0. That's the whole point. I mean, Virat Kohli will leave day after. Okay, tell our viewers that also. I think the team, from what I understand, will take a break today or has taken a break today. No one will go to a cricket ground. Not one member, including the messieurs. Nobody will go to a cricket ground today. I think they will sort of regroup and look. This is what sport is. This is where the coaching group will also get challenged. Their job as a coaching unit is now to step up and get that positivity into men. Think about Ajinkya Rahane. Now face it, yeah, he has been under Virat Kohli's shadow. Let's not make any qualms about it. KL Rahul.
Yeah.
If you think about this team, the build-up Australian summer photographs of Virat Kohli. What does a Cheteshwar Pujara think about it? He was the star of the last series. What does an Ajinkya Rahane think about it? He's got hundreds around the world. What does KL Rahul think about it? He's got good record in Test match cricket. Rishabh Pant think about it? He's got a fabulous record in Australia. Now, clearly, this team was all about Virat Kohli. And I think each of us know this very well, that each individual in this team, starting with Ajinkya Rahane, is a proud cricketer. So I would treat this as an opportunity. I would say enough of being under Virat Kohli's shadow. These three test matches will see the make or break of Ajinkya Rahane, the captain. the make or break of Cheteshwar Pujara as the number one, not number two batsman after Kohli. Number one. Rishabh Pant making a case, I am the number one wicketkeeper. And when we talk mental scarring, three people who will play in that side did not play this test. Shubman Gill, KL Rahul, and obviously Mohammad Siraj, that's different. But if you're talking about it, you and Rishabh Pant. So 3 out of your top 6 will be without mental scarring. Can they step up? For me, sport is always about an opportunity. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for Ajinkya Rahane and some of the boys. Make it count.
Ridhima, just to add to what Boria said, and it is high time. It is also, important to not linger on over that Virat Kohli departure. Look, the fact is that this decision was taken weeks, months in advance, right? And it does not mean that Virat Kohli does not care about Indian cricket or he does not care about his team. He's coming back home for a special reason, for the birth of his first child. Kudos to him for taking that call. Again, our experts have been reiterating the fact that Ajinkya Rahane is a champion cricketer himself, that he's, like Boria said, he's been in the shadows of Virat Kohli for a while, and it is his chance to shine under the sun. Good leadership skills. He has the respect of the players. He has the respect of his men. And this is a challenge that they would have had to overcome with or without Virat Kohli anyway, right? So it is important to just, ensure that we make the best of what we have. Players who have not been scarred with the Adelaide setback, and they are going to be able to bounce back. At the end of the day, to an extent, players will also know that, that 36 all out, they will have to get out of that. They have to get out of that mindset. Otherwise, they will not be able to fight back. Hopefully, a few months down the lane, it will be just a number, and we would have staged a remarkable recovery in Australia. Who knows?
Yeah, Raju, you should introduce us to the two gentlemen behind you. And
absolutely. It's Ayush and Vatsal. You probably would have seen us traveling together. We are traveling the whole series together, and there is no change in our plans. We will cover all the test matches, and as I said earlier, we are planning to get more people into the ground because we need to make our presence felt. We won't be allowed to play musical instruments in the ground, so we have to be a little bit more vocal. And as you've seen in my updates, my voice goes up and down. It all depends on how much cheering we have done. But I just want to make a comment. This team has done well. We were in the commanding position in the Adelaide Test. It's just one session. And as I think Boria was saying yesterday, it's just that little period where the collapse happened. So those 90 minutes or 70 minutes, if you take those minutes out from the game, it's the same team. It's the same champion team. We really want that team to spark again like they did in the last series. We haven't forgot those moments. This is the same team we celebrated with at the Intercontinental in Sydney. And if we don't support them now, I think we won't be doing justice to what we are doing. We are representing Indian fans, as you said, Ridhima, in Australia. So we are taking this on, and we are taking this as our responsibility.
The one thing that you can do right away to support them is to give me a big broad smile, and so can Ayush and Vatsal, and we'll take it from there. And I'm sure you guys are already making a lot of noise, and you guys always make your presence felt. So there is no doubt about that. So thank you so much for joining in. Thanks a lot.
But the other thing, all Rajul and your team, 15 days back, why are you going back 4 years? Don't go back 4 years. Just go back 15 days and see what happened after the 2 white ball matches. All of a sudden, social media was like, India will not win a single game. It will be a whitewash in the T20 series, in the ODI series. And then what happened? I mean, even former cricketers, we were on our show saying that. I mean, come on, man. I mean, let's not, the problem is just a bit of patience. We've seen that with white ball cricket 15 days back. Everybody had written this team off. I had no chance of winning a single game in Australia. All of a sudden, we will whitewash Australia. That came back. So hold back. There are 4 test matches to go. Melbourne and Sydney, red ball, not pink ball. Australia has played way more pink ball than India. So there are these differences as well. Red ball, it's a different ball game. MCG will be a different ball game. Calm down. I mean, this negativity, etc. Yes, Virat Kohli is a massive factor. Mohammad Shami is a massive factor. But sport can never be about individuals. It is always bigger. Look, 2011, Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman, 2 of the greatest, were casualties out of the Australia tour. Did India get batsmen in their place or not? Yes, we did. Did Indian cricket move on or not? Yes, we did. So Even the legendary Sachin Tendulkar had to retire after a point 2013. Did you get a Virat Kohli? When Sachin was playing, it was blank. Will somebody replace Sachin Tendulkar? We got a Virat Kohli. So you will calm down and back this team strong. 4 changes, as we said. Celebrate the changes. For example, according to me, Shubman Gill is all class. Can he score? Different matter. Does he have the ability? 500%. 500% that fellow has the ability. So wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you so much, Raju. Thanks a
Thank
lot
you,
for
guys.
joining in and keep smiling and keep supporting us. And we're always with you. Thank you. See you.
We will.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Now, Boris, we were talking about, Rajashri mentioned about some reactions of the Australian cricketers. Here's a reaction. Here's a reaction of Shoaib Akhtar saying that thank you for breaking our record. What would you...
Shoaib is a very dear friend. Shoaib is a very close friend of mine. But that's Shoaib. Okay, 2 stories on Shoaib. That Virendra Sehwag story is legendary. That Shoaib keeps bouncing, chakka marna, multan. And Sachin's at the other end, and Virendra Sehwag, being Virendra Sehwag, calls him. And he said, "Tu ball dal raha hai ki bheek mang raha hai? तू छक्का मारना क्यों बोल रहा है? तू बॉल डाल रहा है कि भीख मारना? मेरे को मारना है, मैं मारूंगा, तू बॉल डाल." So that is so Shoaib to a degree. But having said that, Shoaib Bhai is a very good guy. Shoaib is a dear friend and when that Sachin innings happened at Centurion, and this Shoaib tells me himself, 98, first ball 4, second ball 6, third ball 4 again, and that straight drive, just a block timing 4. He called Waqar Younis and he said, "I'm bowling at 150. The world's best batsman is batting like the world's best batsman. What do I do?" And Shoaib told me this himself. He said, there was nothing we could do as bowlers when Sachin was playing like that. So Shoaib, that's him. That's his character. He's a witty, funny, interesting guy. He's got no malice. So I've got time for Shoaib. He's a dear friend. So that's fine. I don't take him seriously when he says things like this.
So it's fun, actually. We should take this with a bit of sense of humor. If that is missing from sport, what is? So we've got a couple of questions which we should take very quickly from all the viewers because we've got a lot of comments in our section. We've got Aman Agarwal asking, Boreda, are you sure KL will play or management will give one more chance to Shaw and Gill coming in for Virat?
No, sure. Guaranteed. I mean, I'm telling you with a fair degree of certainty that Prithvi Shaw is not going to play in Melbourne. They will look past him because mentally...
We've lost your
voice now.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. There was a call coming, so sorry about it. Prithvi Shaw definitely not playing. Shubman 100% playing. 100%. There is no 2 ways Shubman Gill will play. KL Rahul 90% plus he will play, and he will play middle order. Absolutely, And Riddhiman Saha, I'm telling you with a fair degree of certainty, I think Riddhiman Saha is definitely not going to play. And the question is, will they look past Riddhiman Saha for the longer term? So, no, these questions, yes, Aman, good point. It feels harsh whenever somebody is dropped like this. Problem.
Okay. There's also a question, and plenty of questions on the batting order once Rohit comes in, though you've already explained it. But plenty
Rohit
of questions
will open.
on... Yeah.
Okay, Rohit, let's confirm that. The idea is Rohit will open. It is not going to be Rohit batting middle order. After that, you will see people coming up, down. Maybe Hanuma Vihari, as I've said, might come up the order. But Rohit Sharma, when he comes back in Sydney, will open the batting. You can take it from there.
Okay. So that answers the question. Now, Rajashri, we've got another question. What does Prithvi Shaw need to do to get back?
There's an audio here. This thing, I'm just going out and coming back, okay, in a minute.
Okay.
Sure.
Things that Prithvi Shaw probably can do to get back in form.
A lot, actually. Look, there are chinks in the armor. For the first thing that he needs to settle down is the mental aspect. From what I gathered, like we've been saying, that he did not quite look mentally there at the Adelaide Oval. Those drop chances that also sort of set things back against him. He has to work on his technique, with that ball coming back in, and Ricky Ponting made that observation and he immediately lost his wicket that way. So there are some technical aspects that he will have to look at. Maybe go back to Mumbai, there is a lot of batting depth in that city, isn't there? The
Yeah.
great Sachin Tendulkar, there are people he has to talk to. The
Right.
same thing. Look, and he's not the first young cricketer to go through this, and he will not be the last. Remember what happened to Virat Kohli after England 2014? He went back, spoke to all the greats about his batting problems. He ironed them out, right? And he does not become a bad batsman overnight. There are certain technical issues, maybe his fitness, maybe then get some runs in the domestic season. He has to be in the reckoning. He will certainly be in the reckoning. Ridhima, make no mistake about that. That guy will be in the reckoning for
Yeah.
the future. He's only 21, so he has time on
Yeah.
his side, and
Yeah.
he will have to work on 2 or 3 aspects: mental, physical fitness, and his technical flaws. And who knows? He'll be back sooner than later, hopefully.
All right. Well, fingers crossed, and all the best to Team India for the upcoming tests. And with that, thank you so much, Rajesh, for joining in. Thank you to all our viewers for joining
Thank
in.
you.
That's all the news that we had for you. Some breaking news, and of course, some chit chat from all the way from Sydney with our fans who are supporting Team India. Hope you liked it. Of course, once again, your feedback's always welcomed, and follow us on Twitter, man. See you soon.